Welcome to this Crystallize live stream. My name is Bård, and today we have with us Sebastian.
Hello, everyone.
And as you know, the topic of this stream is a new command line interface in Crystallize, the Crystallize CLI. But Sebastian, why in the fancy UI and SaaS world would we ever want to go to command line?
Of course, right? But well, because most of our users are using Shell, right? And they are developers. And also some of the stuff that you want to do are before the UI, right? Like installing a boilerplate. It's even before, right? You just want to somehow git clone and run the code. But to do that, you need a little bit more, right? You need a tenant, you need some data, you need some shapes. So we needed some kind of process that will streamline that creation of the boilerplate. So that's one big argument in favor of having a CLI. And also because, without the CLI, you need a CLI. We need this.
You just need it. I'll move us to the top then.
Okay. So first big goal of the CLI is to automate the boilerplate installation, so you can have the first time to success. Really, beside the joke, is the first time to success.
Yeah. Exactly, and what we can do then is let's jump into it, and we'll go a little bit back later because here is the CLI. So basically, as you saw on the previous screen here, if you go to this URL, you basically have the installer for the CLI. That's the first thing. So this is a simple. You copy this curl command and you run it on your computer.
Yep.
And then you have it installed. And once that is installed, you basically have a new command called Crystallize. So where do I go from here, Sebastian?
Well, like every CLI command, you can do --help. You should have auto completion on what you want to do, and you have a list of commands. So the CLI have a list of commands, and each commands can do stuff on different part of your tenant, I would say. And not only, right? For instance, the first one that we're going to have a look right now is the boilerplate installed. You can see it after a changelog and doc and wmi that we're going to review later. But then let's do this first time to success. Let's try to install the new boilerplate furniture that is using all the latest stuff that we have in Crystallize. So obviously, I suppose that Bård, you have an account on Crystallize.
I do.
Yeah, you just want to install this boilerplate. So let's give it a try.
So basically what I'm doing then is I'm running the boilerplate with the right command, as you saw. To repeat, it's a boilerplate install. And then the name of the folder, which is where to install it. And then you get a selection here of the 3 boilerplates that is available via the installer. All of them also have a demo site so that you can go and check it out and to see if it covers your use case. We've done live streams on all of them. Furniture is e-commerce focused with storytelling, e-commerce focused boilerplate. Nerd Factory is basically a subscription boilerplate focusing just on selling subscriptions. And then we have more of a product configurator boilerplate where you can have composable products. So it's a bicycle configurator that you have there. I'll do furniture. And here I have some choices, right? I can, if you just want to quickly check out the code, you can use our demo tenant. We have it with open API access. It's the same data as we have on our demo site. You can create a new one. So here, and this is super useful because here the installer, the CLI, will create a tenant, but also populate it with shapes and data.
Yep.
I have done that previously. So to save time, I want to use my own existing tenant, which I basically called Furnitut BF.
Yeah, and to tell a little bit more here, why did we do that before? Because populating the data, uploading the images will take like a good 4 minutes. So instead of waiting, we did it a little bit before. But yeah.
Exactly. And
So yeah, what's happening right now? It's see the system. What does it do? It goes to GitHub, download the GitHub repository, and tweak a little bit the environment file so you have your tokens and everything set up. If you decide to create the tenant, it will populate the data. But here, it basically did npm or npm install and git clone. Right?
and then we're up and running, and it's literally like 20 seconds. And then I have locally running now the
Boom.
furnished boilerplate. So it has injected some demo data. I mean, I did that beforehand, but if you chose the last option, it will do that. Create a tenant, inject data, and everything is ready. And here we basically have the full e-commerce experience up and running in less than a minute, right? So this is a very quick win to have a Crystallize tenant with some good data up and running so that you can start development. That's one of the scenarios that we built the CLI for. And when I say we, I kind of mean you, Sebastian.
Yeah, well, it's we had a CLI before, right? That was doing almost the same. Now the architecture, the technology that we're using, it would be better. It's simpler to install, faster to execute. So yeah. So first time to success. It could be for doing a demo to your client if you are an agency, or it could be to convince your boss that Crystallize is awesome. You can install it on the computer of your manager or whatever in like 1 minute, right? So because we didn't mention that, but you don't need to have Node installed. You don't need to have anything, right? So it's kind of cool.
Yeah,
The CLI. Yeah, to run the project, you still need to have Node.
true that. So, okay, I'll quit that. We did another live stream fully on the furnished boilerplate that goes into how to customize it, etc. And this is easy for you also now to have it installed with all the shapes and demo data. So, but that's nice. But I do see that there are more stuff I can do here, right? I can do stuff like who am I?
Yeah. Oh, you're you.
I'm surprisingly me. We could also do let's do something useful, right? So I did see here, and we have, for example, image management. That kind of interests me. What can I do?
Yeah, exactly. So aside of boilerplate install for first time to success, the goal of the CLI that we didn't mention at the very beginning of this live stream is also to improve developer experience, right? When you are a developer, you have your ID somewhere, you are coding, you run your Node server, and you want to take action. Sometimes you want to do stuff, and you can always do everything that you want using the UI, but sometimes, and it's part of developer experience, you want to stay in your shell where you actually do your stuff as a DevOps, as a developer in general. And also bonus, you may want to automate stuff in your CI, in your CD/CI environment, right? So the CLI is also to do that, right? Simplifying the boilerplate install, but also giving you like superpower on your CI and on your shell, right? So uploading an image is kind of an obvious one, right? You probably have images on your computer and you want to ship them to your tenant from your computer without opening your browser.
And of course, what I would usually demo here is like, okay, I go to the UI and I drag and drop the images to the asset organizer. Beautiful, right? But you're telling me I should do something else.
You can do something else, and doing the drag and drop from the CI, it's not that simple, right?
Yeah.
So it's right. But here you can do exactly the same. You do crystallize image upload, you pass the tenant identifier.
So I need a tenant identifier, okay, for an intuit BF, something like this.
And then the folder on, so you are on it, right? So
current directory.
Yeah.
Let's try.
and then
So
the
this-
CLI, it knows that you are you, right? It knows that you have access to furniture BF, and then boom, it does everything that needs to be done
Okay.
to ship the image.
So one command basically, and then if I go to my tenant and check here, I do see that I have images available that are currently being transcoded. That's why variants are not available for all of them. And basically, it's a one command to populate your tenant with images. So it's kind of useful.
Yes. And also, again, for automation, you may want to do automation in your CI or in the processes. Like, let's say you are building a team, you are building a project with your team, and you want to automate some stuff in the local environment. Maybe every developer have their own tenant, or you do whatever you want to do, right? This is helpful here to automate.
Yeah. That is
the video on the left, so people can see the full screen. I think we have our video in the on top of your screen. Yeah, or on the right, even better. Perfect. Yeah.
So fancy.
So yeah, that's one goal. But as you can see, this list of command just ask for to be improved, and we may add a lot of things here. But we still have some stuff to show you, right?
Yeah. So what you typically do, so let's say I want to set up a local development environment for me now, and maybe you have configured a good tenant. So how can I do that? Like use the CLI and maybe even make a script, but let's just do it live now.
Yeah.
If I do, let me try.
Let's create an empty tenant first, right?
Tenant create, and then I do BF 42.
Yeah, 42, of course. Yeah.
Because I have some of these already. And that's basically then creating a tenant for me. Yes, you can do that in the UI. But if I now go and check out, just reloading the list, boom.
You can do it with the UI, you can do it through the API, of course, but the CLI is doing it on your behalf, right? Basically.
Yeah.
And then
Totally empty, clean tenant, no shapes. Oh, but in your tenant, you created the good shapes.
So
but I can do it here. You had a product, or
we can dump shapes using the CLI.
Nice. So I could do Crystallize mass operations, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Operation. And then I want to
model. So here maybe a little bit of explanation. This is also kind of an extra preview of something that is coming in Crystallize called the Mass Operation API, where we will be able to do a lot of things server side to increase and improve the mutation that you can run on your tenant when you have to import thousands, maybe millions of product. This is what the mass operation will let you do. And it goes also by creating the shapes at first, right? Before to and this is the first iteration of mass operation. So far, you can dump your content model and also import your content model. And this is what Board is doing right now. You're doing a dump content model.
Yeah, model.json. I'm needing something else. I need a tenant, I guess. So I can do
furniture, BF,
BF, which was the one I just worked with. And I'm dumping this into a JSON file. And if we want to have a look, model.json, we see that it's a JSON definition, basically defining, okay, I have a new shape called brand. I have a shape called...
you have the pieces and shape. Why is it empty? You don't see the component here. that is fancy, it's because sometimes you have circular dependencies and circular reference into shape, right? You can have a shape with a related product. So you can have a product related to the product. So, we have to create the shape and update before. So all that stuff has been managed, and the model.json is actually created so the mass operation can run in order but you'll see, right? So now we have the file. We can actually ask
Can
the
you,
CL,
can I
okay,
run this?
file. Yeah.
Can I run this now? So help me here. So I want to run model.
Dash help first because you're still missing the tenant. But here, anytime you can do dash help, and you have a little bit more. See if you can see that you have the tenant identifier after run. So here it would be BF4242, right? You have it at the top of the screen.
The super useful name. So and then I do model JSON like this.
Yeah. And waiting for this, you see that you have options here: token ID, token secret, no interactive mode. This is just for the audience here. It's if you are not logged in, the system will ask you for the credential. Then it will be saved, yes or no. So you have the options. But in the CLI, you don't want interactive mode. So you can pass it like dash no interactive. And in this situation, you probably have to provide the token ID and the token secret. If you look at the documentation page on the CLI, you'll see also that those tokens can be passed as environment variable as well. So the CLI know where to look.
And what was happening here was, so the mass operations are designed for long-running operations. So now we're queuing for our spot. And so most of the time we're just waiting for the system to give us or add us into the queue. And then the operation is pretty much immediate once you.
We didn't even see the status start.
Yeah, it was just immediate once we got our slot. So what did we do now? We took this JSON file from the furnished BF tenant into the new one. So ideally, if I'm doing a reload here, I should have some shapes.
Yeah.
This is useful because I could have some shapes, and I can have different JSON files for, let's say, the common design patterns. For example, one type of product or one type of, maybe you want to have stories is not on every tenant, things like this. That's nice. Anything else that we would like to dive into here? Because now I have this tenant and I have some shapes. Maybe I want to invite you.
Yeah, definitely. Go for it. See, go for it. It's the tenant invite, right?
So then I go tenant, invite, and I don't know. So I'm doing dash help. And then I do tenant identifier. And this would be BFBF 4242.
Yeah.
And then I'm generating an invite.
Yeah. I want to invite for an admin, or I want to invite for a specific role that you have created in your tenant. How many invite? Again, you can do that with the CLI, but you may want to do that in the CI for automation, right?
Yeah. So I sent you an invite for this tenant, and then if you want, you can join the tenant. So it's kind of automating this so that you could script this and send notifications in Slack channels. You can send emails if that's your thing. But it's super useful to be able to run these commands from the command line.
Exactly. And it goes from creating a tenant in the CI, running some script so you have data, and then at the end of the CI you just remove the tenant, right? So this is really to optimize all those process. And then sometimes it's just about making your life a little bit simpler. If you have used the shop API, sometimes that it's not that simple to get the token, right? Because you need to do query.
Yeah, you need to do stuff, right? And now, yes, you can see the token on screen and you can access my tenant with my credentials. Yeah, but I set the expiry to 1 second, right? So it doesn't really matter.
I do think it's an hour, right? If you do dash help.
But that doesn't matter because this stream is pre-recorded.
Exactly. But do it here, dash help, just for the sake of I think it's an hour. Yeah, it's number of hour. Again, yeah. But I know why, because if you do it through the API, it's in seconds. But here again, it's developer experience. Most likely you need more than a second. That's why by default in the CLI we put an hour. Right.
I did not know that. I have some tokens that are valid for a quite long time now.
Yeah, most likely. Yeah, that's okay.
So that's the CLI.
We were talking about automation before, and one thing that I don't even know if you know that, but when you did the image upload
Yeah,
earlier, we could see the list of images
yeah.
listed, like key value, key value, key value. If you look at this image upload documentation, you'll see that there is another option, and we're going to try again. If you guys watching this needs more to be able to automate stuff, let us know because we can improve that very easily. When you do that and you do dash dash help, you see that you have one more option where you can ask, yeah, do dash dash help at the end. You can provide, yeah, you can do dash dash help anywhere actually.
Something like this.
Yes, yeah. So here, when you do that, instead of having the list of image in the output, you get an image, you get a file that is a JSON on which you can code stuff, right? You can automate stuff. So here we can see that, okay, this image has been uploaded and this is this key in Crystallize. So you can do automation based on that.
Mm-hmm. Nice. And this could be, for example, run it through some AI, identify
Then you do you, yeah.
image and add some topics that matches, for example. That's a simple automation you could do.
But what you'll want is you want to know how to identify that image in Crystallize, and that's the goal here.
Exactly. So that's pretty much it in terms of the quick round trip to the CLI. As Sebastian said, this will be continuously developed. It's the tool that we use also to kickstart new projects. I use it to install boilerplates, which is really simple now to get things up and running. Do check it out and join the Slack community if you have suggestions, questions. It is open source, is it not? So we do accept pull requests also.
Yep, definitely. I mean, that would be nice. Anything can be done, right? And if we look at everything you can do in the UI, I'm not saying that we should reproduce everything that we have in the UI into the CLI, right? It's not the goal. But there are many things that we have in mind that we can add on the CLI, but you might have other ideas. So please come and code with us.
Check it out and subscribe to the channel to get a notification. There will be a new stream next week on a different topic. You will get notified if you subscribe. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, click on the button.